Good afternoon! Today I'd like to talk about the realities of running a same-day courier company, the ups and the downs. For those that are new here, there's plenty of you with all the new subscribers that have joined. Thank you all, by the way. My name is James, and I'm the proud owner of a small courier company called Freddie Fletcher Limited, named after my son. We're based in the Greater Manchester area, and we've been running for just over 3 years now, and we're doing our very best to stay on top of the game in a very, very saturated market. A little bit of a background on me. I didn't just dive into this career path with no experience. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been in this industry for many, many years now, not just for my company. I started out as a driver for an ex-family member who owned a courier company at the time, and I actually worked my way up into the office where I was in control of giving the jobs to the drivers and making sure everyone got loaded and was on the road and doing everything properly. That was my job. Eventually, in 2021, I got fired for asking too many questions about things that I didn't think were right, about the dodgy goings on, and about my employment, because I actually found out that they'd made me unemployed in 2019, but were just falsifying stuff to make it look like I was employed, but I wasn't paying tax or insurance. Big no-no. That company, thankfully, is no longer on the road. So let's talk about the upsides of running your own same-day courier company, because there is a few. The flexibility of being your own boss, working when you need to, when you want to, and as hard and as much as you want, is a fantastic feeling. All your time you can put in, all the productivity you're putting into your own business, and it's all about you. So if you have an obligation on a Wednesday, you don't have to work a Wednesday. You can work around it. You can do something else. If you want to take every weekend off to spend it with your family, you can do that. If you decide you want a day off, you can subcontract all your jobs out and you can have the day off. That is the flexibility of being your own boss, of running your own company. There's always more control in the business if you're at the reins. Another upside is simply how satisfying it is to work for yourself. My first job, working for myself, I remember it to this day. I went to Peterborough, did a delivery for my customer. It was my first job, it was for my customer. And I remember getting there, I remember speaking to the customer because he wasn't expecting me. It was a bit of a shock. He thought I was trying to steal his dog at first. I was like, no, I'm allergic to dogs, please move your dog. Because his place of work was in his back garden of his home, and he had a warehouse in the back garden. So I was over his friends trying to get his attention. He was listening to music, he couldn't hear me. The dog came running over. And I remember that, and it was so satisfying to do that first job and to do that first invoice. Doing that first invoice knowing that every penny is coming to me. It's not going to my boss, it's not going to a company I work for. It comes directly to me, and then I've got to pay myself out of that. I've got to pay for my van, I've got to pay for my fuel. It's satisfying just being so in control of everything. It is absolutely fantastic. And the final point for upsides is you get to choose who you work for. So when you work for a company, you just get sent everywhere. You get sent here, sent there. If you're using platforms, for instance, to get your work, you get to choose the people. You get to bid on certain work, because if there's loads of negative feedback and they don't pay you, you don't work for them, do they? And if you have a bad experience with someone over a period of time, you don't work for them again. It's all about you working hard, choosing who you work for, and just being satisfied with the job and the income at the end of the day. Though having a full-time job and having a guaranteed wage is very nice, there is a much better earning potential if you work for yourself, because you don't have to beg and plead for overtime for that extra bit of money. You just work, you do an extra job, you work harder. Like, the earning potential is here. So you go and work for another courier company, you're getting paid however much an hour. You can make that as a self-employed driver plus more, because you can charge slightly less than that courier company charges, but you don't have the massive overheads they have, warehousing, offices, staff. You don't have all that. If you think about it, if you're a driver for a courier company, you're not only paying for yourself, you're paying for everybody else. If you're a driver working for yourself, you're paying for yourself and your vehicle. Right? It's as simple as that. So you can earn considerably more if you work the same amount, and if you work more, you can earn even more. All you got to do is not be lazy, basically. If you're lazy and you don't like working, being self-employed probably isn't the best option for you, and you should probably just be employed, because then you have to stick to a strict going work time, etc. But with anything, there are downsides as well, and the main downside is unpredictability. So you don't have that set work amount, you don't have that set wage coming in. It's unpredictable. For instance, January and February are dead periods in this industry, and you're going to be sat at home trying to find work and struggling. If you've not got money in the bank saved, it's a hard time, and it's sometimes just impossible to get a job. It can be the best period of time, it can be so busy, but there's such a saturation in this market that you're going against so many other drivers and other courier companies that some days you might not get a job, you might not earn a thing. And that is the main issue with being self-employed, because if you don't work, you don't earn. Simple. Another bad point is the physical and mental strain this job can take on you as a person and your body. So physically, you could be doing a lot of lifting and shifting. There is a high probability that if you're doing like removals and work like that, or you're doing a lot of waist clearances, you're doing a lot of heavy lifting, there is a chance that you're going to hurt yourself. You're going to pull a muscle, you're going to pull something, you pull a joint or something, you're going to fall out the back of your van. I've done it before. When I worked for a previous company, we were shifting heavy rolls of vinyl flooring. One moved on its own whilst we were trying to pull another one out, and it crushed one of the driver's ankles. If he was self-employed, he wouldn't have made a penny, but luckily enough he was employed, so he got paid sick pay while he was off with his broken ankle. And it really does, it can take a real strain on your body. For instance, some of the lads now are off, shoulder injuries, back injuries. Me personally, my knee is absolutely knackered. Not necessarily just from lifting and shifting, just all the sitting down as well doesn't do you any good. And then mentally, this can be a stressful job, because let's not forget that if you've got your own customers as well, you've got to be available all the time. You've got to have 24/7 availability. So they'll be calling you all day. You'll have people phoning you. Some days, my phone never stops. Just constant. Got my AirPods in, I'm like, hello, hello, hello. It's absolutely all day. And I'll be getting emails, and I'll be trying to sub your jobs out. And being one man trying to do everything can be very mentally stressful. And then when it comes to the time where you've got to sort all the invoices out, you've got to pay everyone. For instance, before I pulled another 60 invoices out of the platform that I use to put on for payment, and just sitting there for that period of time, and it can all be very stressful. And then some days you're looking for work and it's quiet, or it's really busy but you're struggling, or it's really busy but you're out on the road, so you can't be here, there and everywhere, and it can just be, it can really run you down. You do need to take time for yourselves from time to time, just to relax and wind down, and obviously look after your bodies, because you've only got one of them. If you hurt it too much, you're knackered. Expenses. It costs a lot of money to be a courier. If you think about it, you've got to pay for, you'll buy a van. Vans aren't cheap. you got to buy one brand new, you're looking between like 30 and 40 grand. If you want to buy one second hand, even a high miler is going to cost you 15 grand. And then you've got to insure that van, you're looking at about 3 grand to insure it. You got to fuel it up every week. This costs me around 500 quid a week if I'm having a mild week. If I'm having a mega week, 700 quid a week. It's a lot of money when it all adds up and adds up and adds up. And then let's not forget, you got maintenance, any downtime. If you've got downtime, your van's being repaired. You're paying for that repair, but you're also not getting any money in because you're off the road. And it can just be very, very costly and very stressful to maintain a vehicle and just run a courier company and pay all the drivers, make sure everyone's sorted on time. It's just, there's a lot of money involved. And if you don't have the funds in the bank before you start to run for 2 months minimum, then you're not going to succeed, because it's the pay structure of how you get paid in this industry. You don't get paid for 30 days, 2 months, 45 days, end of month. It's a long time to wait for money, especially when you're putting it out week on week on week. It's a lot of money you go through, and it can be very, very expensive. Let's not forget, this is a very isolating job. There's no one next to me. There's a fridge. Yes, I have my phone and I can speak to wifey throughout the day, and I can speak to other drivers that I know, and I can speak to my friends and my YouTube lads that I know. But at the end of the day, I can be sat on my own here all day and it's quiet. You can listen to things, you can have podcasts on, you can have music on, but it's not an interaction with actual people. You lose a lot of social interaction being in this job because you're on your own all the time. And for some people, unfortunately, they do find it quite lonely. And I know a couple of people that do, and like they feel like they need to be in constant communication with people to make it work, and they always phone people around. But me personally, I don't find it that lonely. I tend to lose track of time quite easily, so I'll be on the phone to wifey for an hour, I'll listen to a podcast or something on YouTube for an hour, I'll put some music on for a bit, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that was quick. I just lose track of time because I'm in autopilot doing what I do every single day. So I don't find it personally lonely, but I know a few lads will do, and it can be quite a stressful, lonely job, really. Also, being a same-day courier, you've got to overcome a lot of challenges. One of the main ones being time management. Like I said a minute ago, time sometimes gets away from me. That is not a good thing. You need to be as planned and as organised as possible in this industry. It really helps if you can set yourself allotted times to do certain activities. Like, for instance, this morning I gave myself 2 hours to do some admin work. I didn't get it all finished. I will finish it tomorrow, but I wanted them 2 hours to do some admin work, and then after that I wanted to find a job to earn some money, which I did. That's why I'm in the van. It's not always a good thing to be too over prepared, because for instance, if you start managing your time too well and you start booking in jobs one after another and things don't go right, then you upset people and you upset customers. But managing your time helps you manage your cash flow and your jobs, and everything all comes into time. You got to manage your time so you can manage paying people, you can manage being on the road, not overdoing it, not over exhausting yourself, and you just got to stay focused and planned as well as possible. Now, it definitely seems like there's more downsides at the minute than upsides, but you've got to take it swings and roundabouts. Like, the downsides aren't always going to affect you. The upsides are really better for you, but there is one more downside: competition. So we are in the courier industry. We are running same day couriers. We don't do parcels really, we move bigger items, we're running up and down the country, and the competition for this industry is ridiculous. It must be one of the most competitive markets ever, because there's constantly more drivers and more companies than there is work, which sounds ridiculous but is true. And then if you've got your own customers, which you need realistically to do this job, if you've got your own customers, there's always somebody emailing, leafleting them, cold calling them, phoning them, coming in their office and trying to take that work away from you for their company. It happens constantly. One of my customers lets me know every time, and it's like once a week, from multiple big companies trying to get the work, trying to undercut me, trying to just gain extra work for their company. And that's what you've got to do really, because if you think about it, everybody that needs deliveries doing already has a courier company doing them deliveries. So for you to get your customers, you've got to undercut, or you've got to be better than someone else. So it's very, very hard to get new customers. But the competition in this industry is absolutely mental, and it is ruthless. People will lower their profits to nothing just to get the customer, give them a couple of months, then hike them back up so they get money in. But it's just absolutely mental, and it is such an oversaturated market. And I know I've said that a few times now, but it really is. So if you're thinking about coming into this industry, do your research first and try and have some customers lined up. You need to financially plan. So what I mean is, this industry is simply stupidly expensive as it is. January, February, dead. Your van goes off the road, no money. So every bit of income you get that comes into your company, put some of it away. Put some of it away for maintenance and repairs of your vehicle. Put some of it away for your downtime. If you've got to go on holiday for 2 weeks, you're not going to earn any money, so you need to have money put away to one side so you can pay for that time off you're having. For that time when your van's broken down, for that time where you want to go on holiday, or it's Christmas, or it's January, February, it's quiet. You need to have that money set aside so you can run smoothly. Trust me, if you come to the end of you come to Christmas and you're quiet and you've got no money put away, January, February and March are miserable, because you're earning so little you just get by. And that's if you've got your own customers. If you're just running on the platforms, you won't get by. You need to have something put away to one side to pay for everything. Your van, and my van, is the money maker of the courier company. So what is the most important thing to do? Maintain it. If you treat your van like crap, you don't clean it, you let it get rusty, you don't service it, it's gonna let you down. If you're running on bald tyres, it's gonna let you down. You need to maintain your vehicle. Regular servicing. Have it booked in every 4 weeks, or however long you need it, depending on the mileage you do on average. Just have it all set up. Right. As soon as you think your tyres are getting low, get them changed. Don't let them get too low. Make sure you've got a spare tyre with you, just in case you have that emergency where you have a blowout or a puncture. And just look after it. Keep it clean. The cleaner a van looks, the happier customers will be when you turn up. If you turn up in a manky, rotten old van, which is falling apart, they're not going to be happy. If your van looks clean and tidy, inside and out, because obviously some customers like to poke their head in your cab for some reason, then they're going to appreciate using you more, because their goods are arriving to their customers in a good looking, clean van. If you rock up and it's still sign written with another company, Bob's Burgers, on the side, then it's going to look naff, innit? For instance, I booked a driver through one of the platforms, and I actually saw him leaving one of my customers and he was in a bright orange van that was sign written up, wholesale, food and laundry. No, I don't even know what they do together, food and laundry, but what? That's not a courier van, is it? That just looks a bit daft, and I felt really silly and a bit ashamed for sending that driver into my customer, because that van was representing my company and also representing a wholesale company. You know what I mean? It just doesn't look good for your company. So keep good maintenance on your van, keep it clean, keep it well serviced, and just look after it. You look after it, it'll look after you. This van has never been looked after. I'm trying to look after it now, and hopefully at some point it'll look after me. Customer relations is also key. So keeping a customer happy is another massively important thing, because you want to keep your customers, but that means you have to be available, like I said, 24/7, which isn't easy, but if managed properly can be done. If you set boundaries like don't phone me at 2 a.m, then they probably won't. If they only work during the day anyway, that's not going to be an issue. If something urgent comes on, make sure your phone's on loud just in case, so you can get that phone call. But for me, customer relations is key. You keep them happy. If you ever make a mistake, make it right immediately. And if it financially impacts you, doesn't matter, because they're going to pay you more anyway, because you're going to do a good job for them. It's all about keeping them as happy and compliant with you as possible. Work-life balance is tricky, because obviously you want to earn money, so you want to work hard, which working hard means you're working long hours, you're working lots of days, and you're bringing in a lot of income. But if you've got a family at home, you need to spend time with them as well. Just the evenings here and there just before bedtime isn't good enough. Personally, I try and set aside the weekends for the family, and even though occasionally I do have to work them, or I do work them to bring us some extra income on if it's been quiet or I've had a day off during the week, I do try the weekends for the family. If I get a day where I know it's going to be quiet, or I can do a bit of admin work and then spend time with the kids and the wife, I would much rather do that. And then if I've got a job booked in for the Saturday, I can do that. As long as I'm giving them enough time, and enough time for me to watch my kids grow up, that's what I need. So sometimes I think I work too much personally, sometimes I don't think I work hard enough. That's just me personally. But you do need to find time to put your phone down, move your laptop aside, park your van up, and just spend time with your family, whoever that may be. For me, wifey and the kids who are up here behind me, that's who I want to spend my time with all the time, because they are awesome. So if you're looking to become a same-day courier and run your own business, I personally wouldn't recommend it at this time. I think the industry is too oversaturated at the moment, but if you've just started, or it's in your heart and you want to start and be a courier, then I wish you the best of luck, because it's not an easy job. I know a lot of people that have said this year, once their platform subscriptions have run out, they're giving it up. They're going to sell the vans and move on to doing something different, because they can't find the work and it's not busy enough and the rates aren't good enough, which I completely agree with at the minute. And I think if you do want to start up now, start as small as you can. Get a small van, cheaper insurance, cheaper on fuel, run that. Don't join the big flat platforms because they're too expensive. Go to your local courier companies, say you're a subcontractor, show them your proof of insurance, try and get some work off them, some consistent work. Try 2 or 3 if you have to. Try one big one, they'll probably give you some work. There's quite a lot of courier companies now moving to their own apps and their own WhatsApp groups, etc., to give drivers work. And if you become a subcontractor that they like and they like using, they'll use you more and more often. And that can be the best way to get into the industry, to be honest. Make sure you've got capital in the bank. You need a couple of £1,000 to run for at least 2 months. That's not just to run your business. In your personal account, you're not going to be able to pay yourself anything for the first 2 months. So you need to be able to pay your mortgage, your electric bill, everything that you need at home for 2 months as well, before you can even start taking a wage, before any money comes back to you. Do your utmost to go out there and find a big customer. If you don't want to work for somebody else, another courier company, and you want to work for yourself, either try and get somebody lined up before you start, or as soon as you start hitting the road, you need to just be getting at everybody and trying to get your own customers. Whether that's you're trying to sell yourself as a one person, small van, whatever size van you've got, or you're trying to sell your company as we can cover everything for you, like that's what I do. We can cover everything for you, and then have them subcontractors lined up to do the work, or have a way to sell that work on. That's what you've got to do. But like I said, personally, I wouldn't recommend it at this time. There's no guaranteed work, but there's plenty of apps out there. I wouldn't recommend any of them to any of you at the moment. Chill though, I've had some very memorable jobs over the years. Even before I started on my own as a courier, you can make some really funny memories, or some scary ones. Back in the day when I used to work for the other courier company, I was doing an ADR delivery to a farm at night. Got on the farmer wasn't happy that it was being delivered in jerry cans and not in drums as he'd asked, and he pulled a shotgun on me and asked me to leave his property. That's terrifying. Not a nice situation to be in. I've had farmers yelling at me because I've ended up stuck in their fields because I've dug a hole in my front wheels whilst I've been trying to get out, because I've been doing a delivery to a field. I do them all the time. I don't get stuck very often. I've been stuck like 3 or 4 times, but still not ideal. But I've done some funny jobs. Like before, I mentioned the guy thought I was trying to steal his dog as I was delivering him goods, and when I got talking to him, he was actually vinyl wrapping the goods, because they're communications steelwork and stuff, to make them look like a tree, and I found that fascinating. I've visited all sorts of all parts of the UK. I've managed to look at different beaches. I've sat at Cardigan Bay looking out of the sea, and it's just, you see some beautiful sights, you see some places that you'd never see without being in this job unless you went out travelling all the time. And this job really can just make you see the country. It's fantastic. But like I said, it can also be a bit stressful. Right, I've learned some lessons along the way as well. There's some drivers out there that will promise they're going to do a fantastic job, they're going to do great, and then they take the absolute piss. I've had co-loaders, I've been threatened, I've had people phone me and blackmail me for more money, saying they're not going to deliver the goods unless you change the booking and add an extra 50 quid on or 100 quid on. I've had all sorts of stuff over the years. And I've also learned how to price jobs better. I've learned that the price that I was charging when I started, which was the price that the old company charged, was the same price from 20 years ago, and that was ridiculous. So I put my prices up. I'm still lower than the big boys, but I'm still competitive enough to get the work, and I've learned to better myself and better this company and just have a good time whilst I'm doing it. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build a good company that does things the right way and just has fun while doing it. That's what I want, have fun while doing it. So in conclusion, I've been doing this for a very long time now. This job has some fantastic ups and some great benefits, but also has its low points and its downs where you're struggling to find work. It is very expensive to get started, and it's very expensive to continue running throughout because fuel is expensive, insurance is expensive. Anyone wanting to join the industry, I would say think again, but if you do, start small and work your way up. And I'd like to say a massive thank you to all my new subscribers and everybody that's joined the channel recently. Thank you all for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.